united, peaceful, and prosperous Liberia. And I am deeply thankful for the trust and support you have bestowed upon me and my administration during my tenure. As we navigate the complexity of governance, the partnership was instrumental in the development and implementation of policies and programs that aim to bring progress and development to our great nation. Reflecting on the accomplishment of these 6 years, let me tell you that I am proud of what we have achieved together. We have built roads, supported free wires and free tuition at high schools and public universities, stabilized the macroeconomic challenges we face in 2018, built hundreds of pro housing units, and achieved on so many fronts that we are able to list here today. However, I acknowledge that there is always room for improvement, and perhaps more could have been done under different circumstances. Regrettably, some of the long-term projects we initiated did not reach completion during my tenure. I am hopeful that the incoming administration will carry the torch forward and bring these initiatives to fruition for the benefit of all Liberians. Fellow compatriots, rumors, and misinformation have played a large part in our politics over the last 6 years. It is my hope we as a country will overcome this challenge over the next 6 years. To begin this, we must start with the facts of the transition. I must we inherited. Today, President-elect Joseph Nima Buaka will inherit a stronger economy than I inherited. There is a bigger net international reserve position than was handed me in 2018. I inherited 94,999,000 United States dollars in net international reserve. And I am handing over to the next administration a net international reserve position of 222,700,000 United States dollars. This is 136% increase in the net international reserve position. The total cash balance in the government's consolidated account is United States $40,044,365.90. In 2018, my government inherited a consolidated cash position of $7 million United States dollars. The next administration thus has more resources to deal with emergency macroeconomic challenges than my administration had at its disposal in 2018. My fellow citizens, through our time together, I have still fast to two cornerstones of leadership, keeping the peace and upholding the democratic process and the root of our democratic journey. I am immensely proud that during my tenure, Liberia remained at peace with itself and at peace with its neighbor. Our armed forces, the force of good, will never turn against our own people, and the standard actions were confined to international peacekeeping mission under the United Nations. This peace, sustained by our own domestic resources, is a testament to the maturity and strength of our nation. We protected the inalienable rights of every Liberian citizen as enshrined in our Constitution. Freedom of speech, assembly, and expression were not only preserved, but celebrated. There were no political prisoners or prisoners of conscience during my entire term, a testament to the development of strong democratic institutions that are now not only hailed as competent and professional, but as trusted and credible. Liberia is now regarded as a fellow of democracy in West Africa and a shining example to the world. This was only made possible through our various collaborative efforts. I want to thank all Liberians, regardless of your political affiliation, for staying the course and helping build a stronger and more vibrant nation. As I step aside as president of Liberia, I will remain actively engaged with the politics of the country as standard bearer and political leader of the Coalition for Democratic Change, the CDC, in order to ensure the continuation of our strong and vibrant democracy. I therefore urge you, my fellow citizens, to continue to
when you elect a clown and you think that he will be a king, what he does is to convert the kingdom into a circus. This is what we must deal with, and this is what we must say. Who do we elect into our public office? Because, as I've said before, when you allow hyenas to take care of goats, why should you be surprised when the goats are eaten? This is the same. And Africa is only going to realize our potential in all areas when, by dint of choice, we enable and allow our best men and women to serve in different areas. I've heard it being said about Lee Kuan Yew in Singapore. I've heard it being suggested about Mahathir Mohamad in Malaysia. I've heard it being said about Japan. I've heard it being said about other countries, but there was a conscious decision on the part of those individuals and the followership. We always talk about leaders, but we never talk about the followers. The followers must also style up. Africans on average for some reason attracted to men and women who cannot serve her. And when they are not served, then they complain. When Africans are told, choose you now whom we shall release, Jesus of Nazareth or Barabbas, they say, release Barabbas. And when Barabbas behaves like Barabbas, they say, why are you not behaving like Christ? It cannot be done.
In May of 2001, signed a second of two executive orders, number 13213, Defense Exhibit D310, in which it was stated, and I quote, the government of Liberia's complicity in the RUF's illicit trade in diamonds and its other forms of support for the RUF are direct challenges to the United States foreign policy objectives in the region, as well as the rule-based international order that is critical to the peace and prosperity of the United States. Therefore, I find these actions by the government of Liberia contribute to the unusual and extraordinary threat to the foreign policy of the United States described in Executive Order 13194, with respect to which the President declared a national emergency. This executive order did not say the alleged complicity, it concluded the complicity. The conspiracy was born, all systems put into motion, and here I stand today. I never stood a chance. This is the broader contextual matrix that regrettably did not and still has not seen the light of day in these proceedings, despite the gallant efforts by the defense to unearth and reveal the contextual framework behind the charges against me. Now, with the two executive orders, the dogs were let out, so to speak. What followed was the dispatch of the attack pack led by Lieutenant Colonel David Crane, Defense Intelligence 30 years prosecutor. He, Crane, unlawfully unsealed the court's sealed indictment to his handlers, senior U.S. government officials at the U.S. Embassy in Freetown, and was never held to account. The rest of the operational team are Colonel Brenda Hollis, Defense Intelligence, CIA, U.S. Air Force, Senior Trial Counsel, and Armed Prosecutor. James C. Johnson, U.S. Army expert, 20 years on conventional and special operations, Chief of Prosecutions of the SCSL. Alan White, 30 years, Defense Intelligence, recalled from retirement to head up investigations at the Special Court of Sierra Leone. Stephen J. Rapp came on board as chief prosecutor for a short time with experience from Capitol Hill, where he served with the U.S. Senate Judiciary Committee sometime before. It came as no surprise to me that as a reward of sorts for Stephen Rapp's diligence in the execution of U.S. foreign policy objectives through these ad hoc tribunals, he was appointed U.S. Ambassador at Large for War Crimes issues. In support of the contextual framework of politics, on February 8, 2006, Lieutenant Colonel David Crane, prosecutor, appeared before a U.S. Congress Subcommittee on Africa, Defense Exhibit D404, and spelled out in clear terms the decision taken in support of regime change in Liberia and what needed to happen to solidify that process. there was little mention, if any, about Sierra Leone. And here is what he said. I posted that 5 years from now, when the international community is challenged by other crises, Taylor in Calabar, under the protection of Nigeria, will make his move. We will wake up one morning and watch on CNN as Taylor rides triumphantly down the main street in Monrovia to the executive, enter into binding commitments and obligations with the African pairs and remain steadfast, resolute, and unyielding in their fidelity to those agreements in the face of such unrelenting and punishing pressure from powerful.
My people, where you at? Where you at? Wake up on your stomach, stop sleeping. Whip your hands, whip your hands, whip your hands, whip your. Come on, come on, come on. I know you're sleeping now. You gotta wake up small, yeah? Okay, let's go. The people fool us. The people lie to us. The government betray us. So much. I said they lie. The people fool us. The people lie to us. The government betray us. They can lie, they can steal, they can lie. I said retire with their lives.
And somebody said to me, all of these engagements,
And let us to allow
one of these days, form part of history. And there will be references made by the bad doers or the doers of wrongdoings, the victims of wrongdoings. They all will have their accounts to give tomorrow to our predecessors. And those who are going to succeed these generations will also have their own accounts to give. But at the end of the day, we should all bear in our minds that history will remain stubborn. The facts will remain unchangeable. The realities will remain stuck on the walls. And the writings will account for all of our activities and our actions. So those of you in power today, those of you in positions of influence, those of us who have our different skills and different platforms that we can use to contribute to society, societal growth for that matter. The onus is on us to choose our decisions wisely, to use our cases, to use our capacities wisely, to use our influence wisely, influence the society and decision for the betterment of our country is important to honor note. On this note, I'd like to say a very, very pleasant good evening to all of you across the country. Good morning to you, good afternoon to you, good evening to those of you in the diaspora, our friends, our fans, our followers, our critics, and even those of you who do not like the things we say and the way we see them. It's good to have all of you joining us tonight on Freedom Hard Talk. Yeah, we talk the hard issues with a deep sense of nationalism. Tonight, something important happened today at the House of Representatives. And tonight, we want to spend time placing emphasis on what transpired. And to do that, we hope to speak with all of the parties involved tonight, including the office of the Speaker of the House, the leadership of the Legislative Press Pool. They issue a statement which we are going to read. And probably one of two legislative reporters who were in session today when the statement from the Speaker was made. This is our own. We spend 1 to 2, 3 hours talking about other people's activities. When it comes to our activities, we give less attention. And so tonight we will talk capital building. We'll talk media protocol. It's important. Just the other day, it was Joe Bracker's video being leaked or published on Facebook with his as he was engaging a member of his local government authority. Today, it is the speaker issuing the sounding aggressive, issuing threats against the journalists, threatening to jail or punish them. What is the standard media protocol that we should be familiar with when we are covering these VIP activities? It's important we talk about these issues because they concern us too. We will provide you update about the Capitol building arson case involving former House Speaker Jonathan Fonati Kofa and his colleagues Dixon Sibo, Abu Kamara, and Jacob Debbie, along with other suspects. So yes, this show is proudly sponsored by Crime Stopper Liberia of Omesem Sion, and we're in partnership with Win Liberia. Let's take a break from our sponsors and our partners here. We'll come back. We'll go through our discussions tonight. My name is Austin. Stick and stay. Don't go away.
AFL is getting ready to recruit, qualify, and interested Liberians to join the army early 2026.
Chill, thank God, we have been waiting so long for this time, Tapla. Let me call my children Krubo and Wimanga, yeah?
But wait, the AFL is not just taking anybody.
Why you me again?
Chebo, the recruitment process is free, yeah? No money business. You have to be a Liberian citizen from 18 to 35 years, be a high school graduate or college student, and must have your WAEC certificate. The AFL people say no WAEC certificate, no Johnny AFL, yeah? You must be physically and mentally fit. It means be well and strong, yeah? You must not get bad human rights record, criminal record, or other bad behaviors. The AFL people say they will check for all I want to.
So, Tapla, all the things you talk, that all?
No. To prove your citizenship, the AFL people say you must bring your national ID card, voters registration card, Liberian passport, birth certificate, or certificate of naturalization. That one there, that the people who were not Liberian citizens, but they say they won't be citizens for Liberia, they get a document from the court. 2 passports have photos, white background, health certificate from any recognized health center. But it has to be within the last 3 months of your application, yeah? Any other relevant document you get, AFL people say bring a vocational certificate or diploma. Can't we?
Wow. Then it means my children, Krubo and Wimanga, are qualified, yeah? But where will these children go to apply now?
Chebo, the recruitment exercise will take place in 4 regions. The central region, that Monserrado, Crane-Bassa, and Magibi counties. The recruitment center will be located in Monrovia, Monserrado County. Then the western region, Crane Cape Mount, Bomi, and Bapolu County. The recruitment center will be in Tottenberg, Bomi County. Northern region, the Lofa, Bon, and Nimba counties. The recruitment center will be in Banga, Bon County. Then in the southeastern region, the Grand Jide, River G, Maryland, Grand Cru, River Cess, and Sino counties, yeah? Because the counties plenty over there, we will have 2 recruitment centers. One in Zedru, Grand Jide County, and the other one will be in Harper, Maryland County.
But Taplao, you are my friend and brother, and you are a big man in the AFL. So I will recommend my children to you so you can help them enter the AFL.
Whoa, Chebo, I want too big. AFL people say no recommendation, yeah? In fact, AFL people say you must be careful with any AFL soldier or civilian who tell you, say, give me money so I can help you to join the AFL. That one there part, that lie. AFL people say, whether you AFL big man or small man, if you recommend anyone, they will sack you from the AFL and disqualify that person, yeah? The high command of the AFL assures the public that the recruitment process will be strictly based on merit, yeah?
A message from the Armed Forces of Liberia.
AFL ready to go. AFL ready to go.
Thank you so much. Let's okay.
Yo, hello. I want to talk about violence. More violence is indiscriminate. It can happen for any reason and to anyone. Until we do something to stop the surge of vigilante justice in this country, none of us will be saved. My Liberia is Liberia of hope. In my Liberia, it is possible. Violence is not part of my Liberia. Violence leads to property damage, injury, or even death, as we have seen in recent months in several parts of Liberia, including Monrovia. Talk to people in your community about violence. Stand up against mob justice. Be a community hero. Liberia is all that we have. We must all unite to uphold the rule of law. This is Old Man Sam Sion, your community crime fighting partner. Thanks for listening. This is Old Man Sam Sion.
Okay, thank you, Omen Simpson. Thank you. The Omen Simpson is the pre-birthday man. And there are too many pre-birthday people. You know, tomorrow is the birthday of Austin Kawa Jr. And on the 29th also is the birthday of Austina Kawa. You know, Austina and Omen Simpson are born on the same day, November 29th. So I'd like to say happy pre-birthday to all of you. This whole week, the shows in fact are dedicated to all of you, Austin Jr., Austina, and Omen Sam Sion. Phoenicius Jr. Bar, welcome Juju Onwe, George Kuhn Jr., Tatas Ghibli, Kenneth County, Henry Tool. Welcome all of you to the show tonight. It's good to have all of you joining us here. The show Musa Sharif, Claudia Allison, Agatha Glasgow, William W. Wulu. All of you, welcome Moses Bessie, Peter Wande, Marcus GD, Anthony Wigan, Mary Tooley, Carnage said, what's going on with the show via radio? The show is live on the radio, Carnage. Melvin Brown, District 14. they may catch me today. What's up, Comrade? Trawale Kim is also joining us tonight. Peter Jala from Magibi, Asada Mela, Paul, Jasper, all of you tonight. Venetius, Junior Bar, KOK Mame Sharif. Welcome to the show. All of you, it's good to have all of you joining us tonight. Let's go quickly. Tonight we reduce the time to 10 minutes. We apologize because we have a lot of things to talk about, and there are other people in queue waiting for us to talk to them tonight. We don't want them going to bed. So normally the pattern of the show is we start the conversation with you in the audience. So we allot 10 minutes to you to hear from you what's on your mind, how did your day end, and what do you want to talk about tonight for the next 10 minutes, and then while we prepare ourselves to speak with while we prepare ourselves to speak with Vesely Sumo in the office of the speaker, Robert Hans, director of press. I will speak with the secretary of Legispool or the president, anybody that we can get via the telephone. But I'm very sure we can speak with the secretary of Legispool, plus other legislative reporters in our queue that we'll talk to, including our own legislative reporter, to share with us what really transpired. We also have the audio recording of the Speaker of the House, which we are going to play, and a statement also issued by the Legislative Press Pool, Legispool for short. So we have all of these things to intersperse or to sparse up the conversation tonight. But before then, let's hear from you for 10 minutes. So how did the day go today? A lot of things happened today. Trust me, in the different areas, we received too many calls today from Keke people, from market women. Some were complaining about the fields or the deaths, in the different marketplaces, and the refusal or delay from the MCC people or PCC people to timely remove the deaths in the different marketplaces and in the streets as well. Today, we saw a video where officers of the Liberia National Police, particularly I'm told the police support unit, were engaged into physical engagement I don't want to say fist fight with individual or police officers from the Pinsville City Police and all of that. We have not gotten detail about that because we try reaching out to the folks from the Pinsville City Corporation to talk to us. Nobody available. The police has not. I've not seen a statement issued by the police. If there is one, somebody can share with me. But up to the time I came on the radio, I had not seen a release from the Liberia National Police responding to the situation involving the Pinsville City Police officers and those members of the Liberia National Police. But whatever the case is, it may be some of you were on the scene and may have witnessed what transpired. The telephone lines to call tonight just to say to us what is on your mind that you want to talk about. 0776 104 104 0886 500 104. Those are the numbers to call on the show tonight for 10 minutes. Let's hear what's on your mind, or what's on your mind, all of you tonight. So, beginning, let's take calls. These calls are already coming in. Good evening to you. Good evening to you.
Some of our issues of which is to utterance in the public. This organization personnel is top, they are a strict boy. At your speaker, he said the same is going on. At the simple, some people put every doing things, then you want people to just step and look at you go. I think it is a journey that you train people. So tell me as you wait people from West Point. I said that anyway, that's scripture of God. You're not saying that you just so you get all of this. Thank you for the time.
Thank you very much. Let's talk to somebody else. 10 minutes. 10 minutes allotted to all of you to tell us what's on your mind. And then we can move into our discussions or our discussing points here tonight on the show. Let me activate this other number from this side. 0776 104 104 0886 500 104. And then where is the diaspora line that is available for those of you in the diaspora to call? Let's talk to this person while we activate the other number. Good evening to you. Good evening. Let's hear you. What is on your mind? Tell us. Talk to us.
Okay.
Yes. Oh, I didn't understand anything you said. Also, I didn't get you. I'm sure those who even listening, they don't get what you said. Hello. Good evening to you.
Hey, Mama, how are you doing? I think birthday on plan.
Oh, you born November 2?
Yes, November 29.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. November 29. Yeah. Happy pre-birthday to you. So that's you. That's you, Sam Sion and Ostina.
Okay. Yes, I'm back Monday.
Let's hear you.
So I thank God to hear this to see it. No, honestly, what on my mind is that you know, for a serious problem. The thing is, men of God said to us that they cannot be paid. They will say, well, you go late. Just go to Vela today. What happened? See what happened on the Facebook in Vela. Yesterday, there were police. The other day, the situation and TA. So they again in Vela, what's going on in our country? Or see what's going on in the government. Oh, no one saw in 7 years. Today, we are seeing the Waka. We saw police fighting or say the police in Vela market and for body pity or for chicken feet. I don't know. Oh, where is going on? You know, I can fight for. You go by the say, also, I will say they're going to give 40. I'm going to do that before they 40 copy. Market here clapping. And so, I know what deal, what would we want. Look, our country advantage based on our market. For us. Your people know you know that that's where the national politics.
Thank you.
Also, they are capital very. You will drag Canada and Canada Day. When they report them, you will drag them. But yesterday you were bossing and long before offices here, long before car, technically before you know that play your bedroom, not your bedroom, it's up in the bedroom. So you go to the bedroom, joy the there, they will put it in our company, put it. But the man will call you, and if you call you, you will go get it and change it in your pocket.
Thank you. Next person, go ahead. 1 minute. Let's hear you. What happened to your telephone line? You keep coming in broken. Oh no, that line is bad. Hello?
Yeah, how you doing, Chief?
I'm okay. Let's hear what is burning your chest tonight you want to talk about.
I'm definitely calling from the Virginia Figure District 11. I want to tell Senator Darrell Dillon. He lied to Colorado people. Now he was in the House of Senate behind Prince Johnson, Wakwako. Prince Johnson gone. He behind our minister, Corina Kra. Please let Dillon know that they say first fool and not fool. Second fool is a fool. Let him be mindful. You must not step on the name of people fool. Besides that, you not start crying. You're crying just started. Mama.
Thank you very much. A message to Darius Dillon. Let's hear you. What is your own message tonight?
Yeah, hello?
Hello.
Yeah, my name is Prince. I'm calling from Brownview, Rainbow Community.
Okay.
Okay, but brother, let me tell you something. This government, we have nothing more to say. We're just waiting for 2029. Yes. We're just waiting for 2029. When we get there, the way they said we'll rig the election, we challenge them. It will be a challenge between them and us. So that's all I get to say.
Thank you very much. Let's talk to somebody from this line. Good evening to you. Let's hear you. Hello. Hey, don't keep the show boring. Let's hear you. Oh no, you call, you gotta go straight to the point. Oh, yeah. Hello. Hello? I don't know about those of you. Somebody is telling me that the radio is grounding in her area. Candace, you said the radio is grounding. So if you're listening to us via the radio and it is clear in your area or it is grounding, please let us know. It's important you let us know. You give us that feedback. It's important you give us the feedback so we know what is happening. What is happening. I think we have to move into our discussion. Yes, let's move into our discussion. I think there's a crack. There's something with the networks. They're talking something about upgrading. I hope it does not affect the internet and affect the live tonight. Madiu Fofana, Imanso Kula, Imanso Luka Koko, to the show, Honorable J.D. Williams. It's good to have all of you on tonight. So let's take a listen to what Richard Kun had to say today, and then we'll talk to the Secretary General of Legislative first. We'll set the pace for the conversation tonight. So let's take a listen. In case you didn't hear what Richard Kun had to say today, this is an opportunity to hear what he had to say. Okay, this is what the speaker had to say today. Let's listen to him. Okay, so listen to your speaker. Speaker is about to deal with the journalists. Warn them. Let's listen to your speaker. Open this one. So
for the press, this section is not legal yet. Any we come here with you, this section is not legal to get Koro. We are not video we find talking. You're telling me when you're dry on. We put it over Chimani. Get section was in legal. Bakoro, they told together because I started talking also. Get your, what believe it.
Okay. This is the version from the Liberian investigator. Let me play that again. Listen to your speaker.
For the friends, this section is not legal yet. Any we come here with you and you. This section is not legal to get Koro. We are not video referring to talking. You are carrying for your prior. We put it over Chimani. This section was illegal. Bakoro, they told together because I started talking also. Get your, what believe it.
Okay, let me play this again.
For the friends, this section is not legal yet. Any we come here with you and you. This section is not legal to get Koro. We are not video referring to talking. You are carrying for your prior. We put it over Chimani. This section was illegal. Bakoro, they told together because I started talking also. Get your, what believe it.
Thank you. He said the session was illegal. The session will become legal when they reach or get a quorum. So everything they were talking there, they don't have a quorum, so the session is not legal. If the journalists go ahead to record anything, can report it or publish it, they will jail them. And you say, if I put you in jail, let me have my boy give me my.
For the friends, this section is not legal yet. Any we come here with you and you. This section is not legal to get Koro. We are not video referring to talking. You are carrying for your prior. We put it over Chimani. This section was illegal.
Man say when you put your injury, you're chini.
Bakoro, they told together because I started talking for your prior. We put it over Chimani. This section was illegal. Bakoro, they told together because I started talking also.
I really could talking quorum today. Quorum. Okay, so that's it. Let me talk to the first. Let me read what the Secretary General, what the leadership of Legispo has written, and then I can talk to the Secretary General of Legispo, who is Gibson G. Gibson G will talk to us. Let me read firstly what they've written. Legispo calls for calm following Speaker Coon's remarks toward journalists. The legislative press pool, Legispo for short notes with concern, comments by House Speaker Richard Nangbe Coon in which he was heard on loudspeaker, threatening journalists covering the legislature with possible detention. The remarks made during the 12th day sitting of the third quarter of the second session have since raised alarm within the media community. Legispo reminds the public that journalists assigned to the legislature play a vital role in ensuring transparency and accountability. Any form of intimidation, of arrest or detention directed at any member is deeply concerning. Hence, we urge all members of Legispo and the journalism community to remain calm and professional as leadership engages Speaker Coon to clarify the intent of his statement. As a leadership, our priority is to ensure that journalists perform their duties freely and safely, void of censorship and intimidation. Legispo reaffirms its commitment to protecting the rights and security of all reporters on Capitol Hill and calls on relevant authorities to uphold press freedom. Signed, Gibson G., Secretary General, Legispo, approved by Emmanuel T.J. Corley, President of Legispo. Let me go to the telephone line and see whether I can get to speak with Gibson G. Firstly, what's happening? How come this call did not go through yet? Let me see what I can talk to Gibson G from here. Okay. G. Let me get it over here. bear with me. The same thing I was complaining about the internet. GBSON. Same thing I was complaining about in the internet. This is exactly what's happening now. Let me see. Let me try again and see whether it's going to go through. Okay, I think it's ringing now. Okay, Gibson's phone is ringing. Gibson's phone is ringing. Let's see. So Gibson and I were having a conversation behind the scene at the time. I had not come on the radio, and along with other reporters covering the legislature. Okay. Hey, these guys. Let me try out the regular line and see whether it's going to work from here. Let me try and see whether it's going to work from here. Okay. Okay. Let me see whether it picks from here. So we're calling the Secretary General of Legispool. He has spoke earlier on and was briefed, and he agreed to talk to us about the incident today. We can get Gibson at the moment. Let's see whether we can get Robert Hands, so we don't hold the show boring. Let's see whether we can get to talk to Robert Haynes. He's the director of press, and then we can talk to. We need a clear understanding, what really transpired, because the speaker kept placing emphasis on quorum, and all of that. So, I would have been going to caucus and say, "My man, don't answer that man call." You know, answer that man calling it be giving you a hard time, all of that. So I just hope. Okay, so the director of press is also not answering. Let me try Vesely Smo, who is the media advisor to the speaker as well. They call this due diligence. Okay. They call this one due diligence. So let's see whether this young man from Bannersville will pick his call, who's directly in the office of the speaker and advising the speaker on media press activities. Okay. The people say we can call people here, we can get ourselves of the story. But we can have the conversation far behind the scene. Can't really record it. I think they didn't see in the call. Okay. Okay. So me, I already got something to talk. I already know what I want to talk. So we're just giving them the benefit of the doubt. So the people say there's a reason why. They say why media people can promote their own media thing. Please, spend time talking about it. These are some of the reasons. Yeah, because the media people say can push themselves into a space that makes it appear like they are compromised, which is not a good thing to do. So let's try and let's try Gibson again and see whether he's going to pick. If he doesn't pick, fair enough. We speak to one or two reporters, including our reporter. Then we can go into the discussion and say what we want to say. Okay, so it's okay. So let's talk to. Let's try this number from this other person's end. Okay. So. Okay. Probably the guys are busy on other platforms too, so it's possible they're done. Okay, so the same thing I was saying. Probably they were busy on other platforms. So let me try the secretary. I see he's trying to call me back or text me. Let me see. Gibson G, good evening to you.
Yeah, good evening, Austin. How you doing? Good evening. It's a pleasure to have me on your program at this time.
Oh yes, I try wishing you via WhatsApp, but hope we can have the conversation uninterrupted.
Yeah, not an issue.
So,
it's a pleasure.
So I just read the statement issued by Legis Pool, and the other catchy part I'd like you to speak to specifically. Have you been able to communicate with the speaker? Because in your statement you said you call for calm amongst reporters and asked that they gave you the chance to have a conversation with the speaker to ascertain what exactly did he mean when he spoke in the tone he spoke.
Yes, we have not yet spoken with the speaker. We've written and he's not yet to respond to our request. But we will do an official communication. We've already done that. It's just to draft it up to the speaker's office on tomorrow. And we've written him. We've written the Director of Press and Public Affairs at the House of Representatives, Ambassador Robert Haynes, informing him of the situation. We've had conversation with him, and of course, we've written the members of the House of Representatives, the Speaker's Office of Independent Media, the department. They're yet to respond to us, but we'll do an in-person communication drafting tomorrow at the office of the Speaker on this entire situation, Austin.
I know you have your latest pool chat rooms. What are some of the emotions? To what extent the emotions have grown, and what exactly are you doing to calm the situation until you can have this interaction with the office of the speaker?
Yes, like I said, in the chat room, like it's just obvious. You will have the kinds of emotional, remarks, comments coming from colleagues of ours who believe that our statement seems not to be too strong as per what they think of. But again, we are leadership. We not want to be reactionaries. We want to engage the process because we feel like reacting too harsh will not solve the problem. What most can solve the problem is engagement. So in our chat rooms, and even some of our colleagues have reached out to us through calls and SMS and text messages, saying that the statement should have been more stronger than it is. They believe that the statement was not more strong to be directed at the speaker, but the statement we released was not to go direct to the speaker. Is to we condemn the statement, like we said, is alarming, is concerning. We note what he said, what was said loudly on the speaker. But again, we have to engage the entire situation with caution. We don't want to act too reactionary. So we were so calm with them. So some of our colleagues had issue with it that we should have said, the speaker, what he did was wrong. We'll have to pour blood out on him. But again, we have to take it one step at a time. Remember, Austin, this is the head of the present government of our country. So we have to engage in those things professionally, not with emotions, not with sentiments, and professionally.
That's why. Don't you think that's why these statements of such coming from the head of the legislature should not be taken lightly, as it is being viewed by some of your colleagues?
Like we said, Austin, engagement is not weakness. I think that's one thing we should understand. The fact that we said we will engage with the speaker doesn't mean that's our weakness. It is a due process, right? You cannot deem accountability from the speaker without first confronting him formally. That is how institutions, there's not much operation going on. We are engaging him formally to confront him. Before we don't want to be reactionary, like I said. So
in the case where the speaker says to you, "Oh, my mayor did that to me. I didn't mean any harm. Just forget it." What will you do?
And then leadership sits back and to go back to a board and decide the next course of action. The fact is, it's not about just going to the speaker and he's saying, "I don't mean harm," because his statement, the tone in which he spoke, tells you that that's not something to say, "I didn't mean it." Is the reason we try to confront it is because most time colleagues of ours, we don't want to denigrate anybody of our colleagues, is that people tend, especially at the Capitol building, people just enter the building in pretense of being journalists and display ID cards, even though to the extent they don't have accreditation to cover the House of Representatives.
Now, Gibson, let's go to the real issue in the chamber. Were you in session today when the incident transpired?
Yeah, most definitely I was in session.
Just tell us what exactly happened that prompted or provoked the statement from the speaker.
I don't want to say something provoked the speaker. I think the speaker spoke out of anger, or probably that's why we don't want to determine what provoked him. That's why our leadership want to engage in what provoke his action or what provoke his statement, because we don't want to be a soothsayer to say, "Oh, because it was this, that's why the speaker got provoked." But the issue is the reality on the deck is Austin. Normally when we go for section, the legislature, the House of Representatives, members of the House, they are the first people to enter the chambers. It's a sacred place, as you may be aware. They are the first people to enter. They always grant access to journalists to enter when everything has been settled, and they give all the access.
Okay.
So on today, normally we sit opposite the chamber where they had a canteen. We have shared our phones and have interaction before we get called in. We got him, that old gentleman, session has opened. We entered, the sergeant called session to order. Usually at its dawn, the preacher man preach, the sermon, the stenographer and everybody, member of the clerk, they read out, they will call roll call. And this is where the entire thing started from. After the roll call, it was surprising to have seen only 6 representatives, including the speaker, that were present, which of course they fell short of quorum. So normally when they fall short of quorum, the speaker would task the sergeant at arms and member who are taking care of the sound system to make an announcement. I'll go to each of those lawmakers' office to inform them that it is session time and they need to come for session. So that was done. The speaker has instructed the sergeant at arms to go to the various offices of the lawmakers to inform them that today is session, you have to come for session. So while the sergeant at arms were going to do the different offices to inform the lawmakers to come for session, there were normal cross-flow discussions or conversations that lawmakers were having. Usually that they do have.
Which means session was already open because it had already been called to order official and there was no adjournment made.
Yeah, the fact that the session was called to order, it was already open to the public. So we journalists were there, and even other observers, those from from NAMUD, because NAMUD have, they are observers, covering the house that normally go there. They were already in. Other people were already in. So they were only waiting we were only waiting for lawmakers to come to read the agenda and then adopt it for the year for the sitting. So we were there waiting. While we were waiting, the cross-flow conversation between lawmakers, in a jovial manner, Representative Marvin Cole were telling the other guys who supported Richard Napekon, the speaker, then from the majority bloc, that those guys, normally at cross-voting men, they are roll stuff like that, during the impasse when the tear gas were, thrown in the chamber, they were all laughing about it. We were just waiting for them to start their normal, section. So while we were laughing about it, some of our colleagues who usually have their place, we just say the press gallery. So they mounted their cameras and their tripods, waiting for session to start, and they just keep on their live coverage, especially those who are doing online television, social media, Facebook, TVs, and stuff like that. So while in the kind of conversation, the speaker saw the mounted tripod.
Okay.
I believe after seeing the mounted tripod, he thought that they were going live with the cross-flow conversation after session had been started officially after for the agenda to adopt. So he quickly, raised the alarm. Oh, gentlemen, press, the two talking, we're just joking here. But anybody or the press people, that, as you heard.
But do you think he could have presented it in a more appropriate way that will call for communicado of your gadgets instead of the manner he said it?
And I think that's why, it was very important to have done, for his part. For members of us, leadership of religious people, we were concerned about that. That's what we say in our statement. It's concerning. He should have called Aaron Robert Himes, who's the director of Press and Public Affairs, who worked for him. For us, we're not working for him. We're not staff out of the House of Representatives. We are just a sound reporters from different institutions.
So he doesn't. He can be dictating to you or
to us, because you can't tell me, especially us in you are respected journalists and very veteran. You cover legislative politics and all that stuff like that. You can't tell any journalist from what angle to take him or her story from.
Obviously.
Yeah, I would the journalist, I know where my story is supposed to come from. I get the eyes and the ears for the story. You can't tell me where to take my stories from. So the fact that if the way he should have said it, oh gentlemen, we're making anything we're talking, that
off record.
Off record, right? But the tone for which he said that, the manner in which he said that, it was threatening. So we cannot say we didn't have the chance to have met with him today to ask into a setting, Mr. Speaker, we're not working for you. We only came here to cover this legislature because you are the direct representative of the people. You from the 17 districts of the country. We're only here to cover, and we're representing our different institutions. They pay all to come here, and you don't determine what we should do or what we should not do. If you only wanted not to have these things heard or recorded, what the best you could have done after you've noticed that there was, a shortfall of quorum from your colleague when it comes for session, you have just asked the members of the press out, or every other person who were in there, just ask them out to go outside, and after you have gotten the quorum, and just ask them back inside. But we can't allow to come inside and try to determine what we should recall or what we should not recall.
Quickly, I don't know whether you have seen the response from the media advisor to the speaker. Our good friend Vesely Small, he posted a justification intoning that the speaker was right on point with the expression and we should disregard the tone.
So in essence, what are we saying?
Don't listen to the way the speaker sounded.
So if you do literature or Austin, you understand what tone is. Tone determines the action of the speech. So we will not want to say because the man said it, so the way we should regard it. No, it's not that we're regarding it. That's why we take a stand. That's what we want to engage in. We will engage the speaker. Because most time, Austin, like I said earlier, I don't want to denigrate or some of our colleagues, but some of our colleagues will usually go to the office of the speaker, maybe for an assistance or some other handouts or whatever. So probably he might have had some, maybe
misfeeling.
And that's what prompted his action. We don't know. We don't want to speak for him. That's what we want to meet him. That's what we want to engage him. That's what we're calling for calm. I understand the frustration of our colleagues. They wanted us to have come with the kind of reporter they really wanted.
Yeah, I to have similar view. I think you saw I expressed similar view in the chat room. Yeah. Until I'm getting now why is an initial softer statement we could see a stronger one coming depending on your engagement with the speaker.
If now tomorrow if we send that communication to the speaker, that the first one we did just after the entire action, we wrote the speaker through his WhatsApp handle.
Okay.
And he saw that message. he saw the message, and you know when you read somebody on WhatsApp, if he or she sees it, you know definitely he saw the message. So we want to know. We don't want to base on him seeing the message on the social media on WhatsApp and use it for our statement. We want to reach out to him. If we go tomorrow, if we don't have the granted access, then the leadership will determine what's next. Because what we should know, Austin, is that emotion does not equal to courage, right? We do strategy. We begin to the speaker irresponsibly may not feel, it may feel good at the moment, but it can shut those the escalation and put reporter at risk. Leadership school does not have to impress. We don't want to, because too much emotion. We don't want to impress with the emotion, right? We want to act to protect. That's why we are the governing body.
Okay, gifting.
Orange informs you that call will be disconnected due to insufficient credit.
Okay. Insufficient credit. After 15 minutes, my credit 15. Well, let me see. I have to reach out. Okay, so let me just conclude with Gibson. Thank you for calling back.
So let me just end. Like I was saying, if the expectation is that they wanted us to respond recklessly to gain the applause, then it is not leadership for us. We will continue to act in ways that strengthen the institution, safeguard journalists, and maintain access to the legislature, because that is what legislature were created for. We want to remain united. We want to remain informed. We want to remain guarded. We understand the emotions, the sentiment that are attached to this entire thing. But one thing we should know: legislature is not a government PR. That should be fact. This leadership is not here to defend the speaker. Imagine that we won the election, we have a reduction, we've never met the speaker to even introduce the leadership. So we're not here to protest somebody we never met before, to introduce ourselves, to him. The only thing we can do is to serve the interests of our colleagues. We understand that this is, is risky for our fellow members of legislature who are very vulnerable, but we have to take it a step at a time, not with emotion.
Thank you. Gibson G is the Secretary General of legislature. I'm not too sure. I want to try reaching out to those individuals again. I think we should just go into. I want to talk to all of legislative reporters who try reaching out to Yanti Tukpa, who first made a post. I don't know. Let me see what I can talk to. One or two of them, because I'm receiving interest from a couple of them who want to participate on the show. So let me see whether I can talk to. Let me talk to Anthony Jiffin first, and then Yanti, and then our legislative reporter will close the conversation. Let me talk to Anthony Jiffin, and then we can move on to talk to Yanti, and we'll talk to our reporter. Anthony, good evening.
Well, good evening, Austin.
One of the experienced persons who've covered that building for a long while. Your background is a bit disturbing.
Yes, I'm trying to make some adjustment, Austin. But yeah, I think I'm good now.
Sure. So, based on considering your experience covering that building, I'd like to firstly solicit your initial characterization of the presentation of or the utterance made by the speaker today.
Well, thank you. Let me say thanks to all of those who are following. Now, firstly, let's leave the speaker and look at any key person, any leader who makes such a statement. Every leader will have a follower, and their followers believe in them solely. And sometimes, let's consider our society. Some of us, we act because we want to please those people we support. And so when a leader in the position such as a speaker, the third person in terms of ranking in our country, makes such a statement to journalists, that alone is life-threatening. Because if any of you record anything and take it from here and carry it, when we catch you, we'll put you in jail, we'll deal with you. If I do it, you're going to change my name. a supporter of the speaker, a staunch supporter, who think that saying or taking anything that the speaker don't want to go out, carrying it out, will be detrimental to the speaker. Hey, Austin, I can do anything to anybody who may take that thing out. The speaker might have said it with no maybe bad intent, but those who are the followers, are they also taking that direction? No. And that's the reason why the statement the speaker made today, that's the reason why we should take it very seriously. The last time we had similar experience, Austin, it was when Senator Snow, you remember Senator Snow made a statement, DN News had a difference, had a side of it. Senator Snow wanted to sue DN. Now, the reporter of DN News covering the Senate, we were in session that day, and Senator Snow pointed at that guy. That a man who doctored my statement here and lie on me. Then here in the blue jacket. Immediately, they just put on the leadership of Gerald, with Blamo to being the secretary, issue a statement condemning that statement, condemning that particular statement of Senator Snow. Following that, what did Senator Snow do? He called the Senate reporter to a meeting. He said, gentlemen, you are the one there, you tell me how many, that kind of friendly thing he wanted to bring around. And we said to him, through Blamo, that you might not have any intent to harm any of us, but you have followers. Those people might harm a journalist or might harm a DN News reporter who is not even the one you pointed out. So that's the reason why we took serious exception to your statement.
And you think similar action should have been taken by the current leadership?
Yes, the fact is we appreciate the leadership for being very timely in releasing the statement.
But the statement is not strong.
Now, thank you. Mind you now, there are things you do or you say that will deter people. And the statement being a very strong worded statement. I was telling the secretary, I said tomorrow or Thursday, the speaker will talk to you or the president. At that point, the speaker will be speaking to you with caution. He will be afraid because he doesn't have the power to delist all the reporters. In fact, if you just do it, there will still be people assigned. They will not have the same thought to support you. You will not go to the institution to say, assign Japan because Japan is my friend, or you support me. No. In fact, he doesn't have the power to dissolve religious school. There must always be religious school. So, and that's one of the reasons why some of us, we took exception to the statement issued by the leadership. Well, we appreciate them because of the timeliness, but that statement was weak, very lazy, and we thought that statement shouldn't have been more.
Thank you. We it's 11 minutes past 9 o'clock. We're still trying to talk to these legislative reporters. Let's see what we can squeeze in the last two persons from legislative. They are all journalists covering the Capitol building, and it's important. We gave them the chance, the opportunity to express their views, be it diverse on a particular issue. It's important we give them the chance and the opportunity to speak their minds and answer some of our questions as well. So we can do this for the next 5 to 7 minutes between there, and we too then move in, because I say I have a message for Richard Kuhn, not only Richard Kuhn, but all the media people in this country providing corporate, whether it's corporate communications, whether it's public communications, whether it's media advisory. It's important, so let me talk to our own reporter, Gerard Morris. Let me talk to Gerard Morris, and then we can close. Yeah, we are going to close with Gerard Morris, and then we can move on. Okay, we have Gerard, our own legislative reporter. Gerard, good evening to you.
Good evening, Austin, and good evening to our many listeners.
Now, the first question I want to ask you about the incident that transpired today, I'd like to know whether you were in session when the incident, at the time the incident transpired, or whether you were around the perimeter during the incident.
I was like around the perimeter when the incident I got to occur. Yeah.
What exactly did you? What exactly were you able to gather that could, that you think our audience needs to know?
Okay, so first of all, whenever the House of Representatives convene, right?
Mm-hmm.
When they're having an executive session, no journalist is allowed in, right? But Austin, this morning, right after the prayer, the roll call, and the reading and correction and amendment adoption of the agenda, there were only a few lawmakers in chambers. So they were there having a friendly conversation.
That means session was called to order officially.
Definitely, session was called to order. As soon as they allow the journalists in, we go straight to our positions and mount our trapos. Those who are going live will go to their position and mount their trapos. And those who are not going live will actually stay at the back and observe the session. So when the guys mounted the trapod, at that time the speaker was in flight. He was talking. He said,
in his official seat and behind the gavel.
Yes, of course, he was sitting behind the gavel when he ordered the sergeant at arms to go to compel those lawmakers that were outside, maybe in their offices, to come to session. They were having like friendly conversation. Those the few that were there.
When you say friendly, what do you mean?
Lawmaker to lawmaker conversation now. Yeah. So
what session have been called to order, and they were having friendly conversation?
Yes, of course, because there was no quorum.
Okay, cool. Okay.
Yeah, at that time there was no quorum. Yeah. So when the journalists started to mount their trapod, that is how the speaker made that statement that is actually circulating on the social media.
What do you hear prior to the speaker making the statement? What do you hear? What do you know may have been said by some of the lawmakers that prompted the speaker to sound the way he sounded?
Actually, I was not in the chambers at that time, but
I'm sure I'm sure you might have spoken with some of your colleagues, and they might have said something to you. What really were they? What kind of conversation were they having? Because I just spoke with the Secretary General. He said Mavico was doing a reflection, or there was somehow a strong some worded statement or expressions being made from both sides, and it was an exchange about the removal of Fonadi Kofa and all of that. So I needed to know what really a lawmaker may have said that prompted Richard Kuhn to say, "You don't recall." All of you are afraid to say because when you hear us, you put in jail.
Not that often, but I can simply say to you, they were having some conversation.
Because Gerard, you can tell me the conversation was friendly, and the speaker didn't want journalists recording a friendly conversation. Or all of you are friends, so you say no. Same we're there, we're not coming talking before the speaker put in jail.
Actually,
no. We respect your right. We respect your right to confidentiality. To say the least. If you want to maintain that confidentiality, no problem. You're in a fraternity, a fraternal group, religious school. So if you want to keep that private, no issue.
But we religious school have released a statement already.
Okay, yeah, so, okay, no problem. I respect that. No problem. Let me say, Legispo has released a statement. So, but folks, let me say this. Since I have less than 45 minutes to be on the radio, let me speak what I want to say within 30 minutes, and then we can afford you the time to talk. It cannot always be the kind of hardcore politics that you all want to hear every night on the show. Yes, this is Freedom Hard Talk, but at times these kinds of conversations are essentially necessary for you, for me, and even for our country. You know why? And there are different angles that I'm going to capture this conversation from. The first angle is the Speaker of the House was unnecessarily reckless in his utterance. That's the first thing I will say to you tonight. The Speaker, and let me say, before I repeat what I said, let me emphasize that Richard Kuhn, I have said this to you without times, without number, that Richard Kuhn and I will not at distance. He has my number, I have his numbers, I can call him, he will pick, I can send him text, you reply my text. But he and I have not come to a close space since the Speaker removal, because you all know, you know what Funadi man. So yeah, Funadi my man. So yeah, so we've not been in the same space since last year, November. He and I have not been in the same space. Okay. But that this does not mean he and I, we do not know each other. Okay. Now, so I love to criticize or critique people that I know, especially when they slip. The Speaker was reckless in his utterance. That's the first thing I like to say here. And let's be clear about that. And when you hear some Legispo members, describing or characterizing the statement issued by Legispo as being weak, probably these are some of the words they wanted to hear in the release. But the Speaker was unnecessarily or carelessly reckless in his utterances. Let me play this again for you to hear. Probably you just joined the show, you didn't hear the Speaker. We are talking about the Speaker. The Speaker. This is the Speaker. I'm going to play you the two voices of two speakers. I got many voices here of many speakers doing sessions where they try to calm situation, doing hearings, everything. I got many voices here of speaker trying to calm situation, trying to interact with media people, any kind of interaction you need. I'm not saying speakers cannot be aggressive at times, but they can regret their aggression, especially when the aggressions turn out to be unrealistic, or when they realize that they overacted or they were reckless or careless. They will come back to express regret. Let me play you. Let me play you this recording. Okay. Listen to this speaker. Listen to this speaker. This speaker is only doing an introduction of Barack Obama. This is the Speaker of the UK. Listen to him. So might as well you go to the UK for why you don't come to Africa.
Mr. President, ladies and gentlemen, history is more than the path left by the past. It influences the present and can shape the future. We meet today in Westminster Hall, a building begun 900 years ago when the Vikings were...
Okay, so I just want you to hear him. There's a reason why I want you to hear him. Because his voice, his tone projects leadership. His tone projects leadership. His voice projects leadership. His calm, you see the calmness, the gesticulation, the command, the authority, the leadership. When people speak, you can smell, you can taste, you can feel leadership in their tone. That's why people, certain career people or professional people, do not overlook tuning, especially those of us who have huge experience in the private sector or the corporate world. We don't overlook tuning. It's important, it's essential. Why, you know why people ask these questions? Because those are clear breaches of etiquette, basic etiquette, especially when on formal duties. Especially when on formal duties. And then you are the leader, the head of everybody. And just to ask journalists or ensure that journalists' cameras are off, and you had of the house, it did not show a lot of things, a lot of qualities. The utterance made by the speaker lacks every sense, every inch of quality that is supposed to be embedded in the voice of a speaker or a leader. It lacks everything. No quality in that utterance made by the speaker. No quality. There's no leadership quality. There is no political quality. There is nothing. Even as an accountant, as he is, there is no corporateness in his tone. The speaker, like I said, was unnecessarily reckless and careless in his utterances, and he must accept these criticisms in good faith and express or tender in an apology to Legispo in the audience. You can be the third person in land in our country, and you still sounding the Yana ball or wheelbarrow ball or coconut seller or Hatae sharp goals. You can't be sounding like Zogo. You are the speaker of the house, and you sounding like Zogo. You swaying, is the tension somebody once be you will come in door. How can you be sitting in the chamber, the sacred, that kind of sacred seat, and you're telling somebody when you're not putting in jail, the machine? What is that? A sacred place. The sacredness of that place is not in walls. It is not in walls. It is in action. It is in deeds. When the Chewy party said these, not walls, that motto of the Chewy party did not apply to the Chewy party as a political party. It was a governance norm, a governance standard that they were trying to project to their partisans, their leaders, and the outside world. So when he said this place, this sacred chamber, that was just sacred chamber. No. It should be reflected in the actions, your dealings, your utterances is also inclusive in your dealings. The things that come from your mouths, your thoughts, your IQ, everything should be sacred. Because if your actions or your utterances or your thoughts, your IQs expressed are not sacred, it loses the dignity, or it takes away the dignity, the respect, and the authority that are attached to the office of the speaker It takes away every quality if you are not sacred in your deeds. Forget about the outside world. Forget about us, the journalists. Just focus on just consider your colleagues. If the speaker continues on this path, most of his colleagues would stop looking up to him for leadership, for direction, for guidance. They will start running to Thomas Fala or to some other Musa Belete, and even a very fanatic Kofa that they force, compel, illegally pushed to resign. They all will start running back to those individuals who are to a larger extent projecting themselves as leaders. They may not be clean, but at least they are exemplifying leadership in their utterances, in their posture, in their activities, in their movement, in their personality, just in everything. They are projecting leadership. The speaker will have to double up if he must go for the next 4 years as speaker. Trust me, he has to improve on a lot of things. On a lot. The speaker is sounding, but the speaker is sounding cool. The coolness just in him is him. That kind of boisterous way of doing things, of talking, appearing, everything. You can be speaker. You are the third main line in our country. People, you are on the international platform now. You've got the international recognition and attention directed at you. You can be the goal. The people know you to be on your campus as the speaker. That's not changing. Don't tell people, oh, but that mean they want me to change. That mean no. Nobody wants you to change. We want you to adjust to standards. We want you to accept standards. We want you to accept qualities. We want you to accept, etiquette. Basic etiquettes that guard your leadership or your operations. As a speaker, that's what we want you to adopt or to adjust to. And that is protocol. Governance or government comes with standards. The different positions have standards and protocols that anybody you put them must abide or confront to those protocols. Failure or refusal to adjust renders you, so we say, reckless. It renders you careless. It renders you incapable or incapacitated. It renders you unserious. And all of that. That your colleagues will be telling other people, you're moving here, man. I'm serious, man. I'm organized, man. I'm too careless, man. I'm too reckless, man. Your own colleagues will start having these conversations. And so the speaker will have to be the speaker. If the speaker wants to be the accounting goal on your campus, he has to choose between the two positions. If he still wants to be the goal on your campus, then let him go be a goal on your campus. If he wants to be the speaker of the Republic of Liberia, he has to decide to be the speaker of the Republic of Liberia. He can't be all two at the same time. Listen to the speaker. You are the speaker. Listen to him. Then people will move to other thing. To something else. Listen to him. Let me play him again. This is the speaker. Sounding this way. The speaker. This is the speaker. Low you. We got low you. We got low you. Listen to him. Y'all listen to your speaker.
To the press, this session is not legal yet.
To the press, this session is not legal. We're coming to that other one. That focus on that clear the small morning first.
You come here with you.
To the press, this session is not legal yet. Anything you come from here will deal with you. Hey, we will deal with you. Anything you come from here will deal with you. It's that. You are the speaker. You have sergeant at arms. You have the gavel of authority to authorize the sergeant at arms to require all journalists to leave the hall, to require all journalists to switch their cameras and the recorders off. You have press director that could go to media, you call and speak in his ear, rather go and tell the people, make sure the people cameras and recorders are off because session years has started, but we do not have a quorum, so everything here is off the record. You did not have to be the one directly interacting with the reporters. You have to allow people to do their jobs. The director of press must always be allowed to have direct interaction with journalists. You should be there to fix things. Now you see, instead of you fixing things now, at rubber hands or adversity, we have to be calling to come fix things or clarify. When you should be the one fixing things. That's why the interaction with journalists should be minimal. Minimal not in a negative sense. Minimal in a sense that you can be directly interacting with journalists on anything or everything. Where you have director of press and you have media advisor to you. This is appalling. It's shameful. Listen. We are not be doing your recording and talking, oh. Eh? We are oh. You're carrying anywhere, Gryer. We put your in jail, your chimani. We put your in jail, your chimani. Eh? You do not even have a quorum and you're threatening to put journalists in jail. You, as a speaker, you do not have any authority or power or influence to order the detention of any journalist or anybody in the country. The plenary must vote to agree. You do not even have a quorum yet. So how you coming put people in jail or threatening to put people in jail? You still struggling to get a quorum. And you tell them we'll put you in jail. So on what basis? How you go and get the number from the vote to put people in jail? Listening. You see? So now Rejeko knows what quorum is. But let me say this to you folks. You see, the legislature is a disaster to this country. The legislature will continue to be a disaster to this country until we can put men and women who are prepared to lead with independence and sense. As I speak, we do not have men and women in that legislature who are prepared to lead with independence and sense. We don't have. The speaker is telling us that after calling session to order anywhere in the world, any parliamentary proceeding, once session is called to order, it means you have officially commenced business for the day. It means you can officially begin transacting business for the day. Transacting business does not mean or is not limited to only when there is quorum. Legislatively, transacting business is not limited to only when there is quorum. The fact that you call session to order and knock the gavel, it means you have begun or commenced official legislative business in the house for that day. And I thought the speaker should be aware. Now, the speaker could not be legal in the absence of calling session to order. Then he sends sergeant at arms to go from office to office and call lawmaker. He would not be acting legal. Because the law, even their own rules say, when the session is called to order and there are absentee members or members are absent for session and there is no quorum for the conduct of business, it is at that point that the speaker can empower or authorize the sergeant at arms to go and compel lawmakers to come to session. And if lawmakers do not come to session or they came to session and they did not get quorum, they say the rules say you can adjourn or you should adjourn the session from day to day. 7%, 28%, he did not have a quorum to do business, so he was being compelled to adjourn session every day. He was sending the sergeant at arms to go and check from office to office, but today, he said you can't call session to order, or when you call session to order, you are not doing legislative business. You pray. You did devotion. Meetings were taken on that day, and the meetings were carried that session that regular business was not done or conducted on that day because there was no quorum to maybe debate the agenda or adopt the agenda or pass the agenda. So yes, you need to conduct legislative business, but it doesn't mean that session will be discarded. It will be that sitting will be recorded as the 12-day sitting. Today's sitting is recorded in legislative history as the 12-day sitting of the 55th legislature. So you can't tell anybody that, oh, there's no session. There was no quorum and there was no session are two different things in legislative language. That authority that you use to tell sergeant at arms, go from office to office and bring people here to attend session, that sergeant at arms was operating under the call to order, the session that was called to order. That one gave you the official authority. Even you, Richard Kuhn, the governor enact to call session to order. That it is because of that, it is under that authority that you authorize the sergeant at arms to go in corporate. So session have been called to order. So the journalists were performing official duties. They didn't act. If they recorded, nowhere in the world, nowhere you will carry them. Nowhere you will carry them. You do not have any legal grounds to jail any journalist or order the detention of any journalist. The fact that you call session to order. There are two things you could have done legislatively. You call for more executive. If you didn't have a quorum and you didn't want journalists to be around, you could have called for executive. They were going to go answer. Or you could have announced everything that is being said here is off record. Meaning, all the people, worst case, if somebody did recording, it will not be, considered anywhere. So you can't publish anything official because the speaker or the presiding officer already announced that, everything that is being said is off record. So two things you could have done. The conversations ongoing are off record. Or motion for executive saying there's no quorum. Or ask the journalists to kind of excuse you because there was no quorum. When there's quorum, you will allow them back inside. That could have been another compromise. And you could have communicated that through the sergeant at arms or the press director. It didn't have to be you necessarily. And these are simple semantics that people that Richard Kuhn are supposed to be able to understand because they have long-standing experience from the classrooms, from the US, from formal environments. Formal environments. This is his second term as a lawmaker. He's a second-term lawmaker. He's supposed to be versed. He's supposed to be knowledgeable of these transactions. And you tell people, oh, there's no quorum. So it means anything to do, you put it in G. Then he's saying session, then he say illegal. You are not you are not taking for you are not doing it. That is a session. You say the people performing anything the people do is illegal. You call session to order, then you say illegal. How you call session to order, then you say illegal? Because once you call session to order and there's no quorum, you adjourn. That's why your rules say. Your rules say when you call session to order, then you send sergeant at arms to go, then you won't be lecturing. That the rules just should be lecturing. Consultations can be going on, pocket discussions can be held. Yes. But you are not having pocket discussions. You are not holding consultation. I'm told there were 5 or 6 lawmakers in the place. Maybe 2 persons on the side, 3 persons on the side, or 4 persons on the side, 2 persons on the side, or they all approach your table and you are having consultation. Yes. No journalist or reporter will go there to go put microphone or camera to hear what you're talking or view or scream, laugh, what you're talking. And even if the cameraman goes laugh, nobody will hear what you're saying because they all bent over you, over your table. So no, people will see that you're holding consultation. It will project that, yes, these guys are holding consultation. It means you're doing business, you're working. But they're not hearing what you're talking about. But to say it's unofficial or illegal, no, it was not illegal, Richard Kun. Session to order and knock it down. This session has been called to order and it is hereby to order. Bang, bang, bang. Kun. The reporters, that was an official authorization to reporters to begin performing their legislative duties. Any photo they took down there, any picture they took, any video they did, any recording they did, they were in session. You call session to order. You didn't tell them that anything, you didn't issue any disclaimer that the conversation on the floor was off the record. You didn't call for executive. Those are legislative actions that are taken to prevent camera or journalists from exercising or performing their official duties. Way back, is a year person Mark Comunicado. It means call your microphone off. Call your microphone off. All of us will switch our microphones off. Off record. Everybody knows that. Switch your microphone off. Your recorders off. Your cameras off. It has been announced that off record. So we have covered. There is no position in this country that I have never covered. No position in this country that I have never covered. No position I've covered. Senators, I've covered representatives, speakers, pro teams, presidents, vice presidents, including the very Joe Burger. The very Joe Burger. George Sir works in the office. George Sir knows. Yeah? George Sir works in Joe Burger office as Assistant Minister for Public Affairs. He knows. We covered Joe Burger office when he was vice president. When there was time for unofficial things, they say, off record, we know. And because we didn't have to ask or argue because we were trained. So we know what Mark Comunicado was. We know what off record would mean. We know what a motion for executive will mean. If it is in the legislature. So these are things, these are different ways Richard Kun could have communicated with journalists to say, the thing we're talking here, they're not official. And he's sounding like one rebel. Yeah, boy, he's sounding like a rebel, yeah, boy. Sounding like a rebel. This is too unofficial. And you having our gavel of authority in your hand, and you sounding this way. And this is not Richard Kun's first time. Now, the next thing I'd like to say here is to my own media colleagues. Because I think a colleague whose name I will not call, I will having a conversation today. Look, and I'm sure most of you have heard me saying, I can work as a media, maybe a press director, public relations officer, or media advisor, then you control me. To control me, you must be a journalist. Yeah, to control me, you must be a journalist. And one person who will attest to this is Fonati Kova. He knows. Dixon Sibo, he knows. Because those are people who have provided media advisory for, media guidance for. They know how we can operate. They know how we operate. And the two of them, to some extent, I will not call all any. They were like accepting my proposals, and exactly what I was proposing were just working as I proposed. So it means you must first then know your game, know your work, know what you want to do. So I tell me, Chief, we have to do this. We can't do this. It has to be done this way. This time. Let's wait small. No, let's push it back. No, let's use this side. No, let's use this angle. You have to look, you are the authority in your office. But some of our colleagues make these government officials to feel like they are the ones dictating to them what to do. And that's why these lawmakers or ministers are controlling most of these press directors and public relations officers in their offices. Because apparently they are so afraid of these government officials, or they do not, or they're not so sophisticated enough, or they lack self-confidence in their training to communicate with their bosses. Those, for some reason. And what I just said does not apply to Robert Haynes. You gotta trust him and know him. But the point I'm trying to make here is you have to do your independent coordination. You have to do your independent layout. You have to be able to do all your strategic planning outside your bosses. Let your bosses arrive and know or see a well-coordinated media environment. That's how he starts to build confidence. And I'll make reference to the president's visit to Bon County. That was a blunder from Kulalen office. And I see that they all try to justify that mistake. That was a blunder. That's one of the biggest PR blunder on the part of, if I say PR/propaganda blunder on the part of Kula Fofana, of the president, or office of the president. Anthony Kesedi is Deputy Minister for Public Affairs. George Sarr is Assistant Minister for Public Affairs. Kula Fofana is Presidential Press Secretary. I don't want to call Vala because I don't know if have any media training. But Kula has it, George Sarr has it, Anthony V. Kesedi, yes. So they are supposed to be able to coordinate properly. Look, the president's visit to Bon County was an official visit. There were expectations that expectations clearly lay out in the protocol in the president's protocol. That the president will be in Bon County, you will have to interact with local members of the local government authority. And the protocol decided where the president will go to interact with members of the local government authority. That had to put him in a chair and put table in for him. The table they put in for him was not for his feet. The table they put in for him was to hold either water or document or something. The protocol sat there, the president took his feet and put his feet on the table. And they still say he's the president. So they can't tell him. And they saw camera. How the hell the president would take feet and put on in an official gathering where the president is interacting with his officials. You put it on camera. Then his feet is on table, and I see my sister Kula justifying that on Facebook today. I'm the ego. What's wrong with the Unity Party young folks? Who told you you should just intellectualize everything? There are some professional errors that are supposed to be acknowledged publicly. Even if it will cost to shift the blame as the head or as the boss, but there are some public errors that, because you know who bears the greatest responsibility? That Joe Barker. That video going outside the bureau, you think that Kula they're going to be talking about? You think that Jeremy Pierre they're going to be discussing? The president himself is supposed to have ethics. He's supposed to know what etiquette is. He is supposed to know that you're not supposed to sit down, interact with your official of government, and have your two legs on the table that is placed before you, not for table water bottle or your documents that are submitted to you. And you put your feet on the table, and I see people then defending nothing and justifying nothing. You think the embarrassment is for you or for the other people? The embarrassment is for Joe Barker, that his friends, his counterparts will watch that video and they will ask question, what is this? What is this? Because they will ask question, who is this person? Oh, he's a commissioner of social support. He's not appointed here. He's a presidential appointee. He was appointed by the president. What is he doing here? Because they want to know whether this is an official engagement. What is he doing here? He said, oh, he was briefing the president on his agriculture plans. And the president got his legs on the table. And instead of the media people coming to publicly acknowledge that it was an error or it was a blunder, a function and professional propaganda blame to shift, and they are justifying. Hey, some CDC people didn't see the year. Today, Joe, we are history. Some people in the CDC government did the same things. They justify everything. They front us for every criticism or check meeting we did. Today, CDC is history. And our propaganda was so, and PR was so weak and uncoordinated. Today, we are still publicly acknowledging and admitting. For me, it my taste was back in the power. It my taste. But hey, you have over 5 million human beings that you are leading, providing leadership for. There are millions out there that are following leadership in this country because you always outside begging. The president goes to Morocco. You will not be in a conversation that they're going to have. You really think the people in the embassies are here, they're just sitting, they're not watching these videos, they're not taking notes, they're taking notes. You see the president in an undiplomatic posture, in an unofficial position, having official conversation with his member of his local cabinet, and you go justify that thing. The protocol. Where was the media protocol? The same thing we're offering Sam Collins the other day in Sierra Leone. If Sam Collins had familiarized himself by asking questions with the media protocol or the security protocol, what happened to him in future would never have happened. Would never have happened. It wouldn't have done happen. So we are supposed to be sensitive on the alert always as media people to think outside the box. Chief, what is the media protocol here? What is the security protocol here? Because the media protocol will always be a subject or subjected to the security protocol. So you could know the media protocol and don't know the security protocol. That's why you should always be able to identify the security supervisor on the president detail or the VIP detail to familiarize yourself or your media team with the security protocol. Because the presidential press secretary could tell you something else. Stay here. The security protocol could come and say, no, go on the side. So the security protocol is law and gospel. A law and gospel. So you should familiarize yourself with it. And Sam Collins did not do that. He didn't take that into consideration. That's why you saw the disgrace you saw in Freetown. See, there is nothing here to justify. And there is no justification that any of you UP persons should even take or consider. They shame and embarrass the president. They must take responsibility of that disgrace that they brought to the president and stop justifying and wearing shoulders and passing around acting like the big shots. They're not big shots. They blunder. They mess up. They mess up. There was a camera going live. The fact that camera is on the president, he is always supposed to be official. Where's the Ministry of Foreign Affairs? Where is the Ministry of Foreign Affairs? Who controls protocol? The protocol of the president? Because the protocol should always determine the sitting of the president, the position of the president, where he sits, how he sits. So where's the protocol? And y'all breach everything and y'all come here and y'all want to justify that thing? These are some of the arrogant behavior we can be talking about. Then people say, oh no, don't be using these words on your friends. We can justify or attempt to justify everything even when it is glaring that we made mistakes. The president has 3 key persons, media people, that are responsible to coordinate media activities in his office. The Deputy Minister for Public Affairs, Assistant Minister for Public Affairs, Presidential Press Secretary. Hey, you see camera on president, meanwhile, we're in a war, a media person will allow camera on a VIP that is on official duty. Let's be real. The VIP is on official duty. Why should camera be on him? And they want to hide under tradition? And they want to hide behind tradition? The president is on an official duty. He's on an official duty. His positioning, his sitting is just, I mean, everything is supposed to be guarded. It's supposed to be official. Because that guy was saying some certain things that could have been produced into a documentary and sent to maybe Japan or India or the Japanese embassy or Indian embassy for, attached with some note or some proposal. That man was talking about investing in agriculture. That is coming from the local government authority. That could have required the president's office producing or developing an entire documentary. Because who knows tomorrow somebody watching that video with that local government, with that commissioner proposing the need to invest in agriculture. He also highlighted what he has started and the kind of help he needs to advance or expand. Somebody could watch that video and say, okay, I think we can post on 500,000 now. We want to get to know that person. And you see that, and you make the environment or the interaction informal. Then camera on them going live. The president get 2 legs, only the president shoot dirty and all. The president keep on walking there, so only shoot dirty. It's he put on the table, they are taking the picture, they are going carrying him live. And all these some people that are supposed to be literate enough are sounding so illiterate in the public and under the guise of intellectualizing their mistake or justifying their mistakes. How do you do that? You have to know when the president is on official duty and when he's not on official duty. When you can be on official duty, and if some of the engagement can be unofficial or should be considered unofficial or informal. At that point, no camera is supposed to be on him. No recorders, no journalists supposed to be around if you want it that way. But the fact that he said camera will be on him, going live, journalists will be there to record, it means you have to maintain officiality. You can't interrupt it to accommodate somebody. You should not even interrupt the protocol to accommodate the president. No, because the president does not set his protocol. Because that protocol is going to project something outside there beyond the president. That is an office that he occupies. He occupies that office. The office does not belong to him. It belongs to us, the people, the country. That's why protocols are set to guard all leaders that sit in that office. The leaders do not set the protocol. Because the protocol is not for the individual, it is for the office. It is not for the occupant of the office, it is for the office. That protocol decides how the person who sits or occupies that office is supposed to carry himself or herself. I don't know why these people do not understand these simple things. And they want to play politics out of everything. And just as I said to Kula in the media office and in the president's office, same applies to Richard Kuhn and Robert Haynes and the media folks. You guys have to be observant. That's another quality of a media person or PR person. You have to be observant. Your eyeball should, because you're coordinating. I see you are coordinating. You are coordinating media activities. Who are you protecting? An institution. Who is the head? The speaker. That coordination has to be there. You have a whole department. So I say, keep your focus on the cameras, on the journalists, the recorders. So your eye contact should be between the media place and your boss. The media place and your boss. Your eye contact between the media place and your boss. The eye contact between the media booth and your boss. Because you have to consistently look at your boss. Probably he wants to communicate something to you. you know, you be looking to see whether you're in looking at direction. You could wing your eye, you go to him, or he could be in a position that is not comfortable, and you could be able to, and the camera guys could be capturing. You will not stop them from capturing, but you turn in a position. You see, you turn around and see your boss is not in a position that is supposed to be captured by the people. Obviously, it has already been captured. You could go there to negotiate behind the scene. Do you know what I mean? There's some photos here. There's a position that the chief was in. I beg you, I don't care. These are all part of your coordination as a media person. That's why you're supposed to be focused, attentive. Switching your habit. If the media team in the speaker's office or in the legislature was active today, this would have been, or proactive, this would have been avoided. They would have saved the speaker of the embarrassment that he put himself in. On a serious note, because the speaker did not have to tell the journalists directly that the conversation that was ongoing was informal or off the record. Where were all the media people in the chamber today? Nobody could have gone to the media people and said, gentlemen, off the record. Or you didn't have to go there. You got stood in the chamber and said, shut, gentlemen, off record. The speaker would not tell you, no. Because the speaker said knows that it is off record. Your ear and your eyeball, you media coordinator. You hear me, and you know that there's no quorum. So if there was an active or proactive media team from the legislature in that session today, they should have been the one to shout off, gentlemen, off the record, off record. And the media people will understand. Speaker Kun will celebrate you. Say, yeah, you say thumbs up. Yeah. You have to be proactive to do your job. No, I mean, no offense to any of our colleagues, but this is the fact. We had to say these things because you see what Rachel Kuapo is saying in a big mess. The speaker acted careless and reckless in his utterances because there was no effective protocol and coordinators in the chamber today. There was no, proactive media protocol and media coordinators in the hall today. It was ineffective. The speaker said, I had to say, gentlemen, how are you doing? Nah, no say, oh, you recall, yeah, you go to jail, I'm a gym in the door. And you know, they said, how to say, me, I've been talking my own. I have school job already, so I've been talking my own. I don't go to school. I joined the list. Yeah? If it was me, I joined the list. I don't know journalism. I don't go to journalism school. I do nothing. I joined the list. All of us media people that are supporting Josh, we are joined the list. All the journalists that are supporting Joe Burrow, they are journalists. They're the ones who went to the journalism schools and acquired the journalism trainings. Let's go to the telephone lines and pick 5 calls, and then we can go home. We can go home tonight. 5 calls. We can go home. Kuda Williams. I know, I know. You're right. Kuda, you are 100% right. Yeah, 100% right. But you know, at times we have to. Tutor these guys because we have to show that hey, we know exactly what we're doing. We know exactly what we are supposed to be doing. We know exactly how it is supposed to be done. We know exactly where it is supposed to be done. We know exactly when it is supposed to be done. We know exactly who is supposed to be in charge to do it or allowed to do it. We need to say these things at times, you know. Yeah, so I know, but you're right. But we need to say these things at times. When we want to do propaganda, we do it. We want to do public relations, we'll do it. And we'll not beg or ask anybody to help us. We'll consult, we'll coordinate, but we'll not go there. We will not go in our room as novice. No. So let's take 5 calls and go home. 0776 104 104 0886 500 104. Plus 231 886 500 104. Since we're taking 5 calls, we'll make it 6 246. 3 phones here. So we'll take 6 calls and go home. Okay, this person, good evening to you.
Hello, Mr.
Hello, how are you?
Yeah, this is Lila calling from Bavim.
Okay, Lydia, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you for the show, bro. Since the president gained power, Latina three will go to the.
Why?
You don't get power, but then I say, today the photo is the alternate to pray our hero. They come and rest of people on the 70 pounds and just about more money. Yeah. Because people will run away now, they do it, they get serious. Very serious. It's awesome.
They don't want to take me off balance. There you go. You're talking about sleeping with hunger. That's the least thing that's the least thing that's supposed to happen to a human being. That you go to bed with hunger. No, that's the least thing, man. 0776 104 104. Let's hear this person. Good evening to you. I'm fine. Oh, yeah.
Doctor. Thank you for the show. Also, you are saying, what do you ask? What I want to ask your money, that's because you know that you found money to tell my family. They said, why you are in his area so good out here in West? That when they report anything but here in West, you will chase it too. They said, God plan will pay you. I want to ask for your money. And after I want to ask your money and daily. If you have an inspection report, even you are any other thing, you see something charged, somebody report anything yet, who will hold you and jail you. A man says, see a number, and on a blocker, a number. What is that? What on the CDC? They were there insulting Baba Jimo. So, what is anybody? So, say, it's everybody to a journalist. So, then you just begin to talk about food. If I was saying, they say, I'm going to say, that's the problem of the point of that. That's what I'm going to say, that's because it's not in the place. And they show you an hour over the place. They talk, one no one else to do place, that one of them will let know. Why was we let know? They say, but what happened to do it? Just as you get asking what they ask you. Let me respond to my question. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's take the third caller tonight on the show and see what is happening here from this end. Good evening to you. Let's hear you. Hello. Oh, my 5 minutes gone. So I can take call. I wanted to steal in the 5 minutes, and my 5 minutes are exhausted. So yes, I have to go. I want to steal that 5 minutes. Yeah. So yes, we can leave you with this song from Bassem Adjivon, because this one's we suffering. We shall be back here tomorrow by God's grace on a Wednesday tomorrow. Yeah, and tomorrow is the birthday's edition. So let me wish my junior Austin Kawa Jr. happy pre-birthday. Austina Kawa happy pre-birthday. And Omen Sim Sion happy pre-birthday. So November people, Austin 26, Austina 29, Sim Sion 29, Masisi 29. William Dakia, yeah, former lawmaker of District 17. It's also on the 29th. And then Abraham Sise, also former representative aspirant, also of District 17 on the 29th. You don't care, you just spread it loud. Happy pre-birthday to all of you. Bye-bye. We never see this one before.